So I'm going to imagine that we're in a seat and talk from that point of view, but you are welcome to choose your opening posture of choice. And just let that one be the pose that can help you settle right on into your breath. And since you guys are working and life is still throwing curveballs at all of us all the time, maybe some cleansing breaths are what you need right now. Something to release any of that tension or anxiety, anguish, or just negative air pressure. Once the eyes can shut down, let the eyelids gently close. Shoulders stack over hips. As you lengthen the spine just slightly, pulling up with the top of your head. Maybe pulling slightly back with your neck to align the vertebra. Begin to feel the power of the inhale as you expand your lungs and your belly. And see what power happens on the other side when you exhale. Yoga teaches us that we are very powerful as individuals. We can become very strong. And when we start practicing in a group, we realize the power of numbers, the strength of communal energy. Each step along the path of life. It's a beautiful opportunity to choose free will, to create the life you want, even amidst the chaos. I'm still working with my arm mudras, so I'm going to take the opening meditation with my arms in mudra. We'll do a few minutes on each side, or you can get comfortable and just take your meditation seated. I'm going to start left arm up and right arm out to the side, splitting the fingers into a V on the lifted hand. Live long and prosper. This mudra, this meditation exercise, is said to realign all our systems, to bring us back into family. Whether you're in mudra or not, allow your breath to become deep and stable, fluid and calm. As you breathe in and out, notice if there's any tightness, any restrictions. What part of your body is trying to help you and overwork? Become easy everywhere. Easy in our mind, easy in our heart, easy in our body. Taking the arm mudra the other way. Got another breath or two and then change sides. Got a couple more minutes in meditation, so if you chose a seat or another posture, settle back in. Allow the disruption to move you back more quickly, more deeply, and more fully. Begin to deepen the breath again. If your mind drifted away, bring it back to your breath. I'm aware of the things beneath the surface. As you slowly bring awareness back to your breath, let your intention go with your breath so they can become one. If your arm was lifted and out to the side, bring yourself into a Anjali Mudra, seal of gratitude, and allow your chin to bow in. The intention this month for me is love in, kindness out. Let's see how that translates in our practice today. When you're ready to move your breath with your intention and marry it with your body, we're going to come into cat-cows. You could do seated cat-cows, tabletop cat-cows, or down dog, cat-cows. That's a tough one to get up. So depending on where your day was or where you need to start, allow some basic movement and undulation of your spine to come together with your breath. Let it be an investigation of how you feel. And then let it be an investigation of how your bones feel. And then your muscles. Let each inhale create space by expanding. And each exhale, move in to that space. I'm going to tell you to take anywhere from 5 to 10 more breaths. If You want to get the hands rotated around, one or both at the same time, and get some carpal tunnel and forearm opening. And give yourself some of those. Since both of you know where you're headed, and then I'll give you some time in silence to just allow that to happen, to move. Knowing that at any time you need to rest, child's pose is there. It's not likely I'll call the posture. We'll meet in down dog in the next breath or 3, so there's really no hurry. And when I was new to this practice, and new to teaching, doing everything right and finding proper alignment was super important to me. And a little history in the dance world and weight training. And alignment is important. So in the beginning days when I found out you could float forward to high plank and then push back to down dog, and that was your perfect down dog line. I wasn't ready for it. I always had to step my feet in closer. So just feel what it's like to be in your skin in down dog. Maybe rotate to high plank and back a few times. But then cup the armpits. Make sure when you get to down dog that you engage. Feel your pelvis rotate under on the exhale as you pull your navel in. And on the inhale, feel it rotate up. Lift your sit bones to the space between the wall and the ceiling. Take 2 more rounds of breath, your measure. And then move your feet forward and we'll meet in a standing forward fold. It seems that every once in a while I fall in love with a posture all over again. And down dog's been it. The last couple weeks, it's been my favorite pose. As you hang or dangle in your standing forward fold, try not to lock anything out. Let your breath be fluid. Allow one more full round of breath, an inhale followed by an exhale, and then we roll up to standing. When you get there, take the hands into heart center. Pause. Anjali Mudra. Once again, connect to your intention. Breathe in love. Breathe out kindness. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, half lift. Don't take off without me. Exhale, soften the knees so you can plant your hands. Step your right foot back. You can, let's on the first one, let's just rock the knee. You can uncurl the toes or keep the toes plugged in. And just rock it back and forth a few times. Try not to move your hands. This is the tricky one for me when I'm tight because I can't reach the floor. And then I roll onto the outside edge of my left pinky toe. Try to keep rooted through the big toe mound. The body is clever and will make accommodations for us. Next time you lunge forward, you can uncurl the toes and put the top of the foot down unless you find more stability with the toes curled under. And so drop the hips down and forward. Use your strong belly button. Pull in and then lift your arms up. And if it's a tight day, hands to knees. If it's a really open day, drop it in. See if you can come onto the front of the kneecap on your right leg. Pull your navel in and lift. So we're not collapsing into the spine. Biceps by ears. And eventually palms come closer together. But there's no need. We're still working upper and lower body together. Keep breathing. One more great big breath. And then come through T-twist to the left. Open up your heart and spin your left fingers back behind you. Long spine. Don't lose the lunge. And then there is a nice reverse revolve here if you would like it. The other thing I've been playing with recently is opening up the quads. So if you can bend the knee and grab the foot here, you can go for the bind. If that doesn't work, I'm on a thin mat that killed my kneecap, then let that go. We're going to bring both hands down, surround the foot, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale for up dog. And if you prefer to keep your hips on the ground and come into cobra, that's fine too. Exhale, pull it back, take it into downward facing dog. Lift with your navel as you push yourself up and back. Deep breaths, shoulders in their sockets. 2 more really nice long breaths. If you're warmed up and you're raring to go, this is an opportunity now to start floating your feet forward or practicing jumping. It's optional. You can continue stepping forward. So how would you like to bring your feet up between your hands? Go ahead and step, float, and hop them up. Half lift, full fold. Rise to standing. Hands to heart center. Sweep them out into T. And dive in over 2 straight legs. Inhale, lift your gaze. Step your left foot back. Rock down onto the left knee. Get stable. And then inhale the arms up. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so let yourself settle first. Rooting and grounding. Engage the navel. Lift through the sternum. Allow this back bend to form from lifting your chest up and out, not collapsing in the lumbar. Give yourself 2 more full rounds of breath at your breath measure. Meet discomfort head on. T-twist to the right when you finish your breaths. My favorite about this is because it's wobbly. It's a balancing pose without having to stand on one foot. And then the reverse revolve came. Feel like I might have hurried that T twist up a little bit. And again, if you can reach back for the top of your foot, the bottom of your heel. Maybe nothing. Today's not the day for that. And then we release, take the hands down. Curl the toe under, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, so we got both legs done, but I'm going to keep adding into this. So one more big breath in down dog. Walk, hop, or float your feet up to the front of the mat. Finish the inhale by lengthening and lifting so that you can fold all the way in. Rise through standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Sweep them out into T and fold in half. Now you can keep your hands lifted if you like. Take the right toes behind you for either airplane or set the toes down for grounded airplane. I find both of them somewhat challenging, so be okay with experimenting. And oh yeah, if you're a high energy day kind of person, pump that leg up and down behind you. And while you're pumping the leg, we could take elevator rides. Bend the left leg and straighten the left leg. So options galore here. Step back and we're coming into our crescent. So knee up or down. Breathe deep as you sink into your hips. Pull your navel in to protect your low back. Try not to over squeeze the glutes here because they'll lock down on your tailbone and you won't get any more length. T-twist open to the left. See if you can sink a little lower. open the leg a little more. Straighten up, shoulders over hips, and then tip it backwards. Your knees up, going for the bind back there is going to be tricky, but if it's down, keep working there. And as you exhale, hands are going to come down, surround your foot. We're going to step back to down dog, and this time swing your left leg all the way up into three-legged dog. So picking the foot up and taking it back is where the work is going to be out there, at least for most of us. Practice squaring the hips and getting strong here, lifting your leg, and then we're going to bend, twist, and open. Keep pushing the ground away as you rotate your shoulders level. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the left knee underneath, tap the right elbow, maybe blow by it for your jackknife or fallen triangle. So once you get your legs apart, as far as yours are willing to go, right arm lifts, hips lift, chest lifts, feet push the ground away. Such a beautiful pose. A lot of work, so breathe. Now we're going to transition back to three-legged dog. So feel the transition as you pick your foot up and bring the right hand down. And pull the knee all the way in again, and then we're going to step up for warrior one. Sticky mat today. Push the ground away with your feet. Rise, take the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers and open the heart for a nice big reclined warrior one. Another back bend. Exhale, come on in, it's humble warrior. Nose to toes. Now another saucy little transition here. No-handed triangle. So as you lift up, push the ground away with your feet. Rotate the hips open, arms behind, and then see how far you can lean out. And rotate. Now you can always look over the bind if you're like, that's not working today. All right, so don't collapse in the hips. Don't lose the general shape of the pose to do something fancy. Good, one more breath. And then both hands are going to come down, surround your front foot. And this is another place where any opportunity to get both feet up in the air, this is going to be a good one. Otherwise, step back and take your vinyasa. Let's see what I forget on this side. When you get to down dog, walk, hop, or float your feet forward. Half lift, full fold. Rise. Fold halfway down, arms out in T. This time it's the left leg that's going to go out behind us. And oh yeah, we did toe taps. You got grounded airplane, leg lifts, elevator legs with taps. What is it that you want? Then we step back into crescent. Take one breath together, another one to set it up, the third one to expand. And if you decide today that you want 4 and 5 breaths there, fine. T-twist open, and then reverse revolve it. Bring the hands down, surround your foot, and we're going to step right into three-legged dog, right leg lifted. Let your hips square. A couple breaths there, and then stack. Bend, twist, open. Of course, you can always flip. And that might feel good when we get this on our own. Do a little yoga break dancing. You go from flipping all the way through to jackknife. So pull that knee over. See if you can get it to the elbow, the armpit, or the wrist first. Then extend it out. So we start controlling the body parts. Lifting into jackknife, fallen triangle. Which one sounds better to you? Push the hips up and breathe. 2 more breaths. When you finish your second one, it's 3-legged dog to warrior 1. So you can move with your breath. Notice the transition. Using momentum until we have the strength to control the motor skills. It's a sweet balance. Warrior 1 turns into reclined first. So interlace the arms, open your heart, drop it into the lunge. Strong belly, strong pelvic floor, humbly bow it in. Let the hips drop down. Maybe the hands can lift up, I don't know. How tight are yours? I've been doing some gardening, they're getting pretty tight. Here's that fancy transition into no-handed triangle. So start coming up and rotating your way in. If you need to come all the way up, then do that. And set up the alignment so it works for your body. Just because we got the same pieces doesn't mean we're put together the same way. All right, when you finish the next breath, release the arms, the hands come down, pinwheel it. And if you're moving into handstand, great place to do it. If you're moving back for your vinyasa, then step back and lower down. I'll get you guys started on this side, and then if you don't need me, you're gonna take me out anyway. Down dog takes you to the front of your mat. One more time on each side. Then if you want to flow on your own, get flowing. Grounded airplane. Right leg lifts. 3 to 5 breaths in your airplane pose. Get playful, get wobbly, fall down, get back up. Take some elevator dips. And then it's crescent. One to get in it, second one to set it, the third one to be in it. T-twists. Reverse revolve. 3-legged dog. Then twist and open. Flip with your flip. And then jackknife it next. Now if you want, you can go right into 3-legged dog, or you could step right into warrior 3 from here. It's more belly work. So pick the one that's appropriate tonight. Hands behind the back. I'm working on changing up the grip each time. Reverse it and then humble warrior. Think about rounding your thoracic spine, but keeping your hips low on this one. That triangle pose comes next. And then I'm sure you can get yourself through the second side without me talking, so you can move into your own mind and your breath. Especially if you're going to play in handstand, then you got a few extra breaths to bounce around. Meet me in a restorative pose or down dog when you finish the left side. Or the second side, I should say. If you're taking a break, check in with your breath. Bring it back online. Smooth it out. Loving kindness. How does that merge with your intention? If you're not in down dog, give yourself about 3 to 5 more breaths to make your way there. The second flow will start there as well. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down into your belly. Zip up the legs, reach the arms behind you, palms facing up, and on your inhale, lift everything up that's willing to come up off the floor. Pushing with the navel and lifting with the heels. Take 2 more breaths in Locust Pose. Now, if you want to interlace the hands and open and lift a little more, go ahead. The focus for me on this one right now is heels together and lifting the thighs. So find that place where you're like, oh my God, that is a lot of work for me. That's what I want you to focus on. You'll release whatever you got going on. Plant the hands next to your chest. Curl your toes under, knees up or down. We're pushing up to the top of a push-up. And then we're going to exhale, lower down. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for down dog. Now, if you're working on hopping or floating your feet, This is where you're gonna put that in. So walk your hands back so they're under your shoulders. Take your feet out a little wider. If we're newer at it, the wider it is, the better. It's a little safer, it's harder to flip over that way. And it's a little easier to get your butt up. So it's a bend in the knees, and you're gonna jump a couple times, maybe float. Hang it out up there. Then you'll set your feet down, and you'll twist. My natural go-to is left hand to right side. Grab a hold and whatever you can reach on your right leg. And twist under. Reach out. Pull your sit bones apart. And then twist to the other side. There's so many arm placements. So pick the one that makes you truly happy tonight. Once you finish this next breath, we're going to bring our hands back. And so we can either squat. Right? So we're going to come into either Bakasana or Bhuja Pindasana or Titibasana. So Bakasana, you climb aboard. You guys know that one. And Bhuja Pindasana is the one you climb underneath. I remember it took me like 2 years just to get my hands freaking flat on the ground. So smile. This one ended up the best back stretch I ever had last year. It's so healing for my spine. And Titibasana tends to come from this one. You have to be able to sit on your arms and lift your legs up. That one took me forever. So a little opportunity in the flow to get a little balancy. You could put headstand or forearm balance in there as well. So bring yourself back to a wide-legged forward fold wherever you've landed. Keep your legs wide. Walk it out to high plank, wide legs. And then we're going to bring the right knee to the left elbow. Take it back 3 to 5 more times. And then the other leg. Now this might get left out the second time through. You might really be liking these and say, yes, this is where the work is I need. Step your feet back on and take your chaturanga. Pull it through for up dog. Send it back for down dog. Inhale onto your toes. Walk, hop, or float your feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, drop hips. Inhale, arms up. Utkatasana. Exhale, T-twist or prayer twist to the right. Knowing this can become arm balance practice if you choose. Inhale back through center. Take it to the left. Inhale back through center. Stand tall. And as you come up, let's bring our right knee with us. Maybe. Arms at hips or up overhead. And just take a pause here. Some days, boy, I really like tree. There's standing half lotus. Just standing here trying to pull your knee up into your chest. There's Uttita Hasta Pada Gustasana. There's dancing Shiva. So just take a few more breaths or start to explore some of those options tonight. Which one would you avoid? That's the one you probably need to do. For me, it was one I didn't even mention. Gentleman's squat. Take 2 more breaths wherever you decided to balance on one foot. We're just going to switch sides. Sometimes the clearest paths are in the simplest language. As humans, we just love to complicate things. 2 more breaths, because I know I was chatty on the other side. And then we're going to put it all together so you can take this and work on the things that you are working on to advance your practice. When your foot comes down, take a great big standing back bend. however many breaths you choose tonight or this afternoon, and then exhale, forward fold if you're hanging with me. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. So this is a good one for working on floating back. Planting the hands, feet about hip distance apart, softness in the knees, unless you gotta bend them a lot to get the hands down, right? And so then it's a game of trust. You gotta push the weight into the hands to pick the feet up to float back. So if you wanna work on that today, put some weight in your hands and lift off your heels. Maybe just a couple little jumps. Okay? And then eventually you float it back. Sometimes that doesn't work for me. Inhale forward for your up dog. Exhale, take it back for your down dog. So now that we're warmed up and you're experienced with your practice, there's lots of little places where you can work on stuff. Let's see how that back bending goes. Inhale, come forward to high plank. Slowly lower down, lower, lower, lower. Good, so we did locust first, right? That one's hard for me, so I want to skip it because Dhanurasana is easier. Bending the knees and reaching for the tops of the feet. Right quad is really tight, but otherwise you're going to try and reach for both feet at the same time, and then you're going to lift it up. So when you get to this back bending, it could be locust, it could be Dhanurasana, it could be upward facing, it could be cobra, sphinx. How do you want to spend 5 breaths? Back bending, and then push up to the top of high plank. Can't do that when talking yet. And then take your chaturanga, your up dog, and your down dog. And then you get to practice walking or jumping your feet off your mat. Hands on your shoulders to start. Okay. And if we're not in the mood to jump, we step 1 foot at a time off and on. Eventually, we twist right and left. So don't rush. After the twists, some balancing. Oh, I don't feel like arm balancing or inverting. How about a yoga squat? Work on malasana. That's a nice one. You can get us good for gardening, so we stop bending over and we start squatting. So for true malasana, you bring your heels together if you can. You wrap your hands around your ankles and then you fold in. Can't quite keep my heels down yet. I'm going to give you about 3 more breaths to play around in whatever inversion, arm balance, or squat you're working on. We come out into our wide-legged high plank. And we take knee to opposite wrist or elbow. Maybe you're all the way up in the armpit. But what I'd like you to practice is not moving the hips, just the knee and keeping the hips low. Then we have a tendency as ladies to spike the hips. Pull your belly button in. And then we step through plank again. Take our chaturanga. So here's where all that arm work is. It's not much time to flow this one, but if you got it and you're done listening to me, you got it one more time through. If you're with me, there's practice floating forward and back, built right in. So when we're first new, we spring load so we can jump. And as we get more comfortable in our abilities, we high plank it. I'm still at sort of jumping here. And then we float our feet forward. And then eventually you just push the ground away and your feet float forward. Utkatasana next. Twist right and left. And then balancing at the front of the mat, right and left. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking this Utkatasana and turning it into a balancing pose, if you want. 2 more breaths, if you're on live time. We're going to meet on our bottom, so if you get done flowing or you decide you don't need to finish, that's okay. It's pretty steamy in my room. One of the most challenging things about inverting is being able to trust yourself. You are strong enough. Once you get onto your bottom, can't see my screen from this point. No worries. We're still working on a little reverse table action. So let the hands behind you, walk your feet in, push the ground away, and then lift your belly up. And if this feels pretty easy, pretty comfortable, pick your right leg up. 3 breaths. Keep lifting your hips. Don't collapse your neck into your shoulders. And then take it to the other side. Now, if you need a break in between, do a break. This was my unspoken pose of the month last month, so you're feeling the benefits. You might not have done it a couple times a day. 2 more breaths on the side, or 2 more breaths if there are no legs lifted. And then when we come down, we're going to drop our bum. Take our right leg out long in front, and bend the left leg so the top of the foot is on the ground. I should have did the right leg first so you guys can see. But I'm doing left leg first, because I always do right leg first. All right, so a little different than what we normally do. So once you get here, I want you to bend your right foot, your right knee, and plant your right foot on the ground. Just take a few breaths sitting, breathe. And then lift your arms up. Sit tall, relax your shoulders down, feel where the work is taking place. Find resistance and breathe into it. If there's no resistance, keep pushing the left knee down toward the ground. 1 more breath, and then we're going to bring our elbows down behind us and start to recline. So if there are no issues with your reclining, just lay down. Right? But if you've got a lot going on in the hips and low back and thighs, laying down is hard. So take your time. That's why we started with the bent knee. If you don't need the bent knee, you're going to straighten the leg and lay the head down. And if laying down isn't going to work for you, see what happens if you bend the knee and let the left knee kind of hover up off the ground. And if that doesn't work, sit back up, because everybody's at a different place in their body. If you're pretty easy here and you're flat on your back, cup your arms over your head and grab your elbows. Keep encouraging the left knee down and the left hip. Three more, great big breaths. This one is so good for low back issues because it frees up the tightness in the front side of the leg, which gets very short tight. We're going to slowly peel ourselves back up, depending on how far you went. So it might take a breath or two. And when you get back to seated, if you straightened your right leg, plant the right foot on the ground again. And some of us might find that holding onto the shin and sitting up tall is where it's at. Some of you are going to be able to grab for the bottom of your foot or your ankle or your calf and extend the leg out. But sit tall, right? Don't lean back and slouch. Sit up on your sit bones and roll through your chest. Shoulders down your back. One more breath. Beautiful hamstring stretch. And then we're going to set the foot back down on the ground next to or in front, out to the side of our left knee. All right. Hands are going to go back behind us again. And if it's available, you're going to lift your hips right up off the ground and come into this modified reverse table. This is such a great stretch for your thigh and your psoas. Don't get collapsing in your neck. Stay open and keep pushing the ground away with your hands. Breathe into this for a couple more breaths. And we're just going to meet on our bottoms, preparing to switch sides with your down. And if your left knee got a little bit tense in that or needed some love, just rub it, your hip, whatever gets you. Right leg's gonna go back. Same gig, we're gonna step on the left foot so we can get our hips level. And if this is all good for you, rock on. Lift the arms up. Keep trying to pull your foot in closer to your body when this becomes equal. And then pushing the knee down, the right knee toward the ground to get a longer stretch here. No need to push if you're in a place where you're feeling something already. See if you can breathe into your spine, feeling each vertebra lengthen, creating space between the discs. Reclined is next, and you know what to do now. So, how far do you go on this side? I don't know. How quickly? That's going to be up to you as well. But supporting yourself with your left foot on the ground can help you level off the hips if you're out of whack there. And once again, if this is easy breezy for you, lay the hell down. Start pushing your right knee down and try to level the hips. Breathe. And if your knees can come together and your left leg is straight and your right knee is not, then bring the knees together. There's a good chance you might just be working on maintenance. If you're laying back and you can cup the elbows over your head, go ahead. Breathe in. Breathe out. I got lost in my own thoughts there. So a breath or two. If it's longer, stay longer. When you gently lift to seated, rebend the left knee if it's not bent already. And either hold on to your shin and practice sitting up straight, or grab for your foot or ankle or whatever you can reach, and extend your leg out in front of you. A variation of crane pose, Karolasasana. Long spine, belly to thigh. Doesn't mean they have to meet yet, but if they do, then we're going to start pulling the leg a little closer to the ribs and the ribs closer to the leg as we create balance. Allow some relaxation to settle in. Then we're going to bend the foot, bend the knee and plant the foot, walk the hands back behind, come into the modified variation of reverse table. So however high you get your hips is exactly how high they need to go today. Remember to breathe in love, breathe out kindness. It can get easy to get caught up in what we're doing and forget stay kind. When you come down out of this, we're going to rock back onto our backs once you free your right leg. So you're going to extend your legs out and show some love, great. If you can bend the knees and grab behind them, you're going to lift up. If you want to come into full on Navasana boat, feel free to do so. And then you can slowly float your way down onto your mat. But if you don't want to, you hug your knees and go down. One way or another, we're going to end up with our knees hugged in, softly rocking across our hip bones. Now, we've kind of gotten all kinds of things in. So do you want to twist, a back bend, an inversion? And which inversion do you want? We got 10 full breaths. You know, there are days when I decide that I don't want an inversion. A bridge pose seems like a much better idea. So I'm not sure what your practice led you, where it led you tonight. But you decide how to end the land time. Oh, excellent. All right, so we don't even have to cheat this out. We got some 10 full breaths. I'm going to say it's probably closer to 6 now. And I want you to take your closing postures. At the measure of your breath. Now I think I have about 3 more of my 10 breaths. And I have another 10 breaths to close out plow and fish. So I'll meet you in Shavasana when you get there. We'll take a few breaths, a few minutes together. Slowly the awareness begins to come back in. There's no rush. The breaths become a little deeper. Start adding movement in. Stretches and hugs until you know when it's time to lift up to a seat. And bring our hands together in front of our heart and bow in. Bow in with the gratitude for the magic that courses through us every time we practice. I couldn't be more grateful that you shared your energy with me tonight. And I am grateful that I had you to share mine with. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.